Hello, welcome to our 45 minutes gentle flow class. So I've been sitting all day. So today we'll be doing some gentle flow to just move the body a little bit. I've opened the chat, so if you have any problems with the sound or you can't see or you have any requests for today's class, you can pop it in the chat now. Okay, so we're going to be doing a little bit of kneeling today. Make sure if you've got sensitive knees, you grab a towel or a blanket to pad underneath your knees. Let's get started. We're going to begin in a child pose today. So if you have your blanket or your towel, you can just roll it up underneath your knees, just so you've got a bit more padding for your knees. Bring your knees about mat width or hip width apart, big toes touching behind you, and then just stretching your arms forward to the top of your mat, sitting hips low, relaxing your head, relaxing your neck. And just taking 3 big breaths in through the nose and out through your mouth. Breathing in through your nose and sighing out. One more big breath in. Big sigh out. Take a couple of moments here. 4 breaths, breathing in and out through your nose. Just to start to let go of everything from your day. To begin to relax. When you have completed those 4 breaths, we're going to slowly walk the hands in. And just stay in a kneeling position here, but swing your hips back towards your heels. You can bring your knees a little bit closer. Now, if it's uncomfortable to sit on the tops of your feet, to sit towards your heels, feel free to just come to another more comfortable seated position. We're going to find a gentle twist from here. So bring your right hand behind you and left hand to the opposite knee. Sitting up tall, like the crown of your head is reaching up towards the ceiling. When you exhale, you can use your hand to push your knee away and think of turning your chest towards that right. Turn your head to look towards your right shoulder. Okay, so every inhale, you're lifting the crown of the head, lengthening the spine. And every exhale, you're twisting a little bit further. Just holding one more breath. And then holding here in this twist, let's add our neck rolls here. Dip your chin towards your chest and slowly turn your head towards the front, chin pointing towards your front shoulder. Then dip your chin down towards your chest again, slowly turn your head back. We'll just do 2 more like this. Dipping the chin down, turning it towards the front, then dipping your chin down, turning your head back. Noticing any pulling along the back of the neck, any clicks or cracks even. And feel free to do a few more of these movements. But when you are ready to move on, you can turn your head back towards the front, turn your body back to the front, and just switch sides. So your left hand behind you, right hand to the opposite knee. Sitting up tall, then exhale to turn, looking towards your left shoulder. Crown of the head reaching up with each inhale. Exhale to twist a little bit further. 2 big breaths here. And then staying here or now, starting to add your neck roll. So 3 rounds, chin dipping towards your chest. Then turn your head back to the front. Exhale to dip your chin back down, turn your head back. 2 more rounds. Then slowly make your way back to center. Okay, and then now we're going to come to kneeling position again, but we're going to tuck the toes under. Now I know this is not our favorite position, but it's a really good one when you've been standing or sitting for long periods throughout the day. So toes are tucked under, heels stacked over the balls of your feet. Just shuffle your knees back if you need to, making sure that you're feeling that stretch into the toes, into the soles of your feet. We're going to wrap opposite elbows overhead here. Let your shoulders relax away from your ears. And then start to press the back of your head into your forearms, bringing your arms back a little further behind you. Open through the chest. You can lift your gaze up towards the ceiling. Just holding here for 2 deep breaths. Inhale to breathe into your belly. Breathe into your chest. Exhale to breathe out from your chest, out from your belly. 1 more full breath in. Full breath out. Now when you inhale, come back up through center a little bit here. So making sure you're tucking your tailbone under, pulling those lower ribs in, just so you're not arching into your lower back, into a back bend. And then draw your belly button back towards your spine. Feel both sides of your body lengthening. Inhale here. When you exhale, tip over towards your right side, coming into a side stretch, side bend. Stretching from the left shoulder and armpit down along the left side of your waist towards your left hip. 1 more breath. Then inhale to come all the way back up. Exhale to tip over to your left side. Stretching through the right side of your body, right shoulder, right armpit. Full breath in. Full breath out. Just 1 more breath. And then coming all the way back through center. And then now let's slowly release those hands back down, maybe feeling a little bit tingly, a little bit numb. And lifting your feet up. Bring some movement back into your toes, into your ankles, maybe even lightly tapping the tops of your feet into your feet. Okay, so from here, we're going to come into our downward facing dog. Fingers are spread at the top of your mat. Pressing down into your fingers, into your palms. You can tuck those toes, lift your knees, and lift your hips back and up into the upside down V shape here. Let's take 6 breaths. So you can bend your knees, focusing on lifting the tailbone up and pushing your chest back. Maybe shaking the hips side to side, just like the riding the tail. Breathing in and out through your nose. You could pedal out your feet, pressing your heels down one at a time towards your mat. Just noticing how the backs of your legs are feeling, how your arms and your shoulders are feeling. And just nodding your head yes and no to make sure you're not holding any tension in your neck. And then when you have completed those 6 breaths, let's inhale to lift the right leg up. Point your top toes, like you're reaching your toes towards the ceiling. Press your left heel down towards the mat. Feel that stretch into your calf, into your hamstrings. Let's draw 3 circles here with our top toes. So just rolling out into that right ankle. Doesn't matter if they're not really perfect circles. So 3 circles here, keep pushing the ground away with your hands. And then go in the opposite direction with those 3 circles. Building a little bit of heat in our arms and our shoulders and our core. Okay, and then now, when you inhale, lift your right leg up a little bit higher if you can. Open your right hip, like a stacking the hips. And then bend your top knee, squeezing the heel towards your body. Feeling that stretch into your right hip flexors, into your quad. Hold one breath. And then inhale to lift your right leg back up. Exhale to lower your right foot down. You're just switching sides. Inhale to lift your left leg up. Point those toes, reach them up towards the ceiling. Good, and then keep pressing that right heel down, feeling a stretch into your calf, into your hamstring. Let's draw those 3 circles here with the toes. I'll just bring my leg down a little bit so you can see. There's a 3 big circles here, rolling out into your ankle. And then going the opposite direction. Releasing any clicks or cracks. And pointing your toes again. Lift that leg up a little higher if you can. Stack your hips. Bend your top knee. Squeeze that heel down. Feel that stretch into your left hip. Hip flexors, quad. One breath. Then slowly lift that left leg back up. Exhale to lower your left leg down. Okay, let's gently lower those knees back down. You can come to a child's pose to rest for a moment. Sitting your hips back down towards your heels. Maybe interlace your fingers and just rolling out those wrists. Catching your breath. Relaxing your arms and your shoulders. And you can always come back here. If the poses feel a bit too strong for you today, feel free to just come back to this child's pose to rest and catch your breath. So from your child's pose, just stretch your hands back to the top of the mat. Let's come down to line our belly now. You could come through a half push-up, or you could just slide your chest through, but lower your chest, slow your belly down onto the mat. Let's find a little baby cobra first. When we inhale, we're going to press into the tops of the feet. Squeeze your elbows in. Start to lift your chest, like you're trying to slide your hands back towards your belly. Squeezing your shoulder blades. Keep your gaze forward, neck is long. And feel that stretch into your lower back. Exhale to gently lower down. We'll just do 2 more like this. Inhale to lift the chest. Pressing lightly into your palms, draw your hands in towards you, elbows squeezing. Exhale to lower down. 1 more round. Inhale to lift your chest. Draw the elbows in. And exhale to come down. Now we're going to do 3 rounds, coming up onto our fingertips. Your fingers are spread. You're staying on the pads of your fingers. And hands can start a little further forward if your lower back is feeling quite stiff today. Otherwise, you can always adjust, bring it a little further back. Okay, so just like before, but this time we're coming into our full cobra. Press into the tops of the feet. Press down into your fingers. Peel the chest off and then peel the belly off the mat as well. Draw your shoulders back and down away from your knees. Then when you exhale, slowly come all the way back down. Chest, belly down. So we're just doing 2 more rounds. Inhale to press into the fingers. Lift your chest, lift your belly. Waking up that back line of the body. Exhale to come all the way back down. 1 more round. Inhale. And exhale to come all the way back down. Okay, and then bring your elbows underneath your shoulders now. Just a final little back bend while we're here. Sphinx pose. Notice how this back bend feels compared to the other 2 variations we did before. Does it feel easier? Does it feel similar? Does it feel harder even? Instead of just dumping into your elbows and your shoulders here, we're still pressing into the elbows. trying to draw your shoulders down away from your ears. And you're still trying to think of pulling your elbows or dragging them in towards you. Think of broadening your collarbones and lifting your chest forward and up. And maybe just staying right here is already enough. Noticing that length that you're creating in your lower back. Otherwise, you can add some little side-to-side movements with your head to slowly start to turn your head towards your right shoulder. Feel that stretching to the side of your neck. Maybe you can even look a little further back, look towards your right heel. And slowly turn your head back towards the center and then turn your head towards your left shoulder. Feeling a stretch into the right side of your neck, maybe looking a little further back towards your left heel. And coming all the way back to center. Now you can just repeat that. Otherwise, this time, come into your full cobra. Press into the tops of the feet, engaging your thighs and your glutes. Press down into your palms. Coming into that full cobra pose, lifting your belly. Shoulders down away from your ears. Elbows in. Just stay here in its back bend if it's already enough. If it's too much, feel free to lower down to your elbow. And then we're going to add those little side stretches again. So turn your head towards your right shoulder and then see if you can look a little further back. Maybe feeling the stretch down along the left side of your body this time. And slowly turning back, looking towards your left shoulder, maybe even looking all the way back towards your left heel. Then slowly turning all the way back. And let's slowly release. Lower your elbows down. Let your whole body lower down. Just bring your arms beside your body and turn your head to one side. Letting your shoulders relax forward. Resting here for a moment. Noticing how your back is feeling. When you have rested enough, we're going to come back to that downward facing dog. Hands underneath your shoulders. Take your time. You can press into your hands, press into your knees. Maybe even come back to a child's pose first, sitting your hips back towards your heels. Or you can come straight to that down dog. Hips back and up. Shaking out your hips, curling out your feet. Find that sharp V shape here with your body. Shaking out, curling out the feet a little bit more. And then we're going to bend the knees. Look forward to the top of the mat when you next inhale. Exhale to shuffle or step, or maybe even hop your feet forward. Bring your feet about hip width apart. Bend your knees so your belly and your thighs can touch. And then just grab opposite elbows here. Let your whole upper body dangle forward. And then sway side to side. Ragdoll pose. Really good stretch to release our lower back after a full day of maybe sitting or standing. But also after those back bends, find this rounding forward. 2 breaths. And then we're going to slowly release the elbows once you've completed the 2 breaths. Inhale to come into your halfway lift. Fingertips come to your shins, like a 90-degree angle here. You're going to lengthen your tailbone back and reach your chest forward. Exhale to bend your knees, let your hands touch down, bring your chin to the chest. 2 more, inhale, halfway lift, flat back, long spine. And exhale to fold forward. One last time, inhale, halfway lift, flat back, long spine. Exhale, fold forward. Let's heel toe the feet a little bit wider now. So about hip width or even mat width apart. The toes are pointing out slightly. We're going to sit our hips down into our squat. Now if your hips are tight, maybe you need to let your heels lift. Or maybe you just need to adjust the position of your feet. Maybe even just slide a cushion or a book or some blankets underneath your hips for support. We're not staying here too long, but just trying to settle your hips down towards your heels. Press your elbows into the inside of your knees. Push your chest forward, lengthening the crown of your head up. Palms can press together. Just 2 breaths now. Stretching into the ankles, stretching into your hips, into your glutes, into your groins. Maybe staying longer. Otherwise now I'm going to slowly lower the hands back down. Press down into your feet. Come all the way back into that forward fold, pointing your toes forward again. Round forward, giving your hips a bit of a shake, giving your legs a bit of a shake. And inhale to come into that halfway lift, flat back, long spine. Exhale to fold forward. Next inhale, step your right foot back to the back of the mat. And when we exhale, lightly lower your back knee down. So you can use your towel or your blanket or cushion or roll up your mat underneath that back knee if you need to. We're keeping this left foot quite wide, coming into our lizard lunge. So you can just shuffle it towards the outside edge of your mat. Stay up on your fingertips or use a cushion or a book or something underneath your hands if you need a bit of height. And we're lifting the chest on the inhale. While we exhale, sit your hips down. Feel that stretch into the right hip flexors. Try to keep the chest open, drawing the shoulders back and down. Maybe even coming down a little further onto your elbows if that's accessible. Otherwise, if your hips are feeling really stiff here, just stay on your palms. We've got 3 rounds of breath. And then when we have completed those 3 breaths, let's come back up onto the palms. Now look both hands over to your right hand side, just as far over to that right side as you can. Notice how that feels for your hips, for your glutes. Can you sit your hips down a little lower? You might feel a deeper stretch here into those right hip flexors. You might feel it more into the inside of your left hip. Just notice what you're feeling. And then slowly you can walk your hands back. Bring your left foot a little closer now, back into the center of your mat. Now we're going to press down into that front foot. Use strength of your hips, strength of your legs now. Come into your half crescent lunge. So that foot is a little further forward. And when we sit our hips down, we want that knee to stay above our heel. Okay, so if you find that your knee is coming over, bring that foot a little further forward. From here, we're going to make sure we're still lengthening into the side body, not dumping into your lower back. Reach your arms up and then interlace your fingers. Feel your palms. Press your palms up towards the ceiling. Make sure you're still pulling your lower ribs in. You're still tucking your tailbone under. And then when you exhale, sitting your hips down a little bit more. You might just stay here, feeling the stretch into the side body. Otherwise, inhale to keep pushing your palms up higher, maybe even lifting your gaze. When you exhale, tip to your left side. Feel the stretch into the right side body, into those right hip flexors. 1 full breath. Then come all the way back up on the inhale. Exhale, bring those hands back down. Okay, we're going to shuffle our right foot forward now, coming all the way to the top of the mat. And give those legs a good shake, give those hips a shake. Feeling that difference in those two sides. Maybe one side feeling a little bit stiff or a bit sore now. Let's come back into our halfway lift. Press into your feet. Bring your fingertips to your shins or to your mat. Notice how the hips and hamstrings are feeling. Exhale to lower back down. Soft bend in your knees. Step your left foot back this time on your inhale and gently lower that back knee down. We're finding that lizard lunge. So shuffle your right foot to the outside edge of your mat. Both hands to the inside of the left. The long spine. And then exhale, sit your hips down just a little bit lower if you can. Feeling that stretch into the inside of the right hip and thigh, into the left hip flexors, into the quads maybe. Using your breath, you can bring your hands down, lower into the elbows. 3 big breaths. And then either stay longer in this lizard lunge or coming back to your palms. And we're just going to add a little side stretch, a little twist. Walking your hands over to the left side. Just as far as you can. Noticing how that feels for your lower back, for your hips, for the side body. One full breath. And then slowly making your way back to center. And you can bring both hands to either side of that foot. Shuffle your right foot back to the middle of your mat. Now again, make sure that the heel stays underneath your knee. Press into that front foot. Use the strength of your legs, strength of your hips. Let's bring those arms up into your present lunge. Interlacing your fingers. And see if you can switch the cross of your fingers, bringing your other thumb on top. Press your palms up. Pull your lower ribs in. Tuck that tailbone under. Exhale, start to sit your hips down a little lower. Keep pressing the palms up, stretching through your arms, through your shoulders. Inhale here. Exhale, tip to your right side. With a stretch into the left side of your body, into your left hip flexors. One full breath. And then coming all the way back up on the inhale. Exhale to come all the way back to center. This time, let's lift that back knee up. Press down into your hands. And then shuffle or step your right foot all the way back to downward facing dog. Now, if you're feeling really strong, really energetic, feel free to flow through a vinyasa here. If you're feeling tight, feel free to gently lower your knees and come to child's pose. If you're moving through the vinyasa, you're moving with your breath, coming into your plank or dropping the knees for your half plank. Exhale through the half push-up, elbows stay in. Inhale into the back bend. Noticing how this back bend feels compared to that very first one you did. And then exhale to that downward facing dog. And we'll all meet in a child's pose again. So knees down, sitting those hips back. And arms can stay in front, or you might even like to have your arms beside your legs, or even interlace your fingers behind your back. And let your elbows and shoulders raffle, forehead to the mat. You can take a couple of rocks left, right with your hips. Let's take 5 rounds of breath. Catching your breath. And letting your heart rate slow. Whenever you have completed those 5 breaths and you're ready to come back up, sit back up and sit all the way over to one side, bringing your legs back in front of you. So give your legs a little bit of a shake here. When you wriggle your toes, roll out those ankles. Noticing how you're feeling here now. We're going to step our right foot in, coming into a hamstring stretch, bringing your foot to the inside of your left thigh. Now, if you know that your hamstrings are quite tight here, and you're already feeling that you're sort of dumping into your lower back or your tailbone, then bend your left knee, sitting up tall. Make sure you're flexing that front foot. We're just going to walk our hands forward. So you can walk your hands on either side of your leg or even down along the leg. Thinking of trying to reach your chest forward towards your big toe. On the exhale, fold forward over your left leg. You're feeling that stretch into your left hamstring. Just holding here. 3 big breaths. Letting your shoulders round forward, letting your back round. So we're releasing that lower back, releasing the whole back body after all the back bending and side stretching. And slowly you can start to make your way back up. Now the only thing you're going to do is turn your right knee out to the side, so your hips are facing slightly towards your right, but your left leg is staying where it is. Okay. And I'm going to fold over towards that left side again. So hips are facing towards that right. You're going to turn your shoulders to face back towards your leg. And then this time, just rounding forward completely, letting your shoulders round forward, letting your hands come again either side of your leg or walking down your leg. And you feel that deeper stretch along the right side of your lower back. You have to relax your neck. You're feeling a bit of a pulling along the back of your neck. Two breaths. And then you can either stay longer, or you can slowly make your way back. And then slowly turn your hips to face toward the front again. Bring that right knee in. Just step your right foot over to that left side. Wrap your arms around your knee. Sit up tall, squeezing your knee in towards your body, feeling a bit of a stretch into the outside of that right hip and thigh. Just sitting with this stretch here. Feel free to just stay continuing with the stretch. Or we'll add a twist now, bringing your right hand behind you. Keep using this left hand to draw your knee across your body and just twisting, turning towards your right side. If you want a deeper twist, you can use this left elbow to the outside of the knee and then push your knee away. Just make sure you're engaging your core here so you're supporting your lower back. Two breaths. And then slowly coming back to center. Let's just reverse that. So that was a closed twist where we're turning in towards the knee. We'll find our ocean twist, turning the chest towards the left side. Bring your left hand behind you. Use your right elbow to push your knee away. I've just got 2 breaths here. Kind of like counter pose. Noticing how this opposite twist feels in your lower back and along the spine. And then coming back to center, bringing both legs back in front and giving your legs a shake. Okay, second side. Stepping our left foot in, sitting up tall, flexing that right foot, maybe a little bend in the knee if your hamstrings feel really tight, and reach your chest forward first. Walk your hands forward or along your leg, just beside your leg, and rounding forward, letting the shoulders round, letting the back round, letting the head round. Try not to get too attached to how far down your head can go. Instead, just breathing into the stretch and noticing how your body is feeling here today. Maybe holding a bit more tension than usual. Maybe you're feeling a little bit more open than usual. You can stay longer here in this hamstring stretch, or you can slowly sit your way back up. And we're just going to do the one where we open our hips now towards that left side. So your right leg out to the side, turn your shoulders back, your chest back to face towards that right leg, and then just let your whole upper body round forward over your right leg, chin to the chest. Feeling stretch along the left side of that lower back. Trying to relax a little bit more with each exhale. Staying longer or coming all the way back up. And now bringing that left knee back in, hips facing forward again. Step that left foot over to the right side. Hugging in towards the chest, sitting up tall. Stay here for a few moments, feeling the stretch into the outside of your left hip and thigh, into the glutes. And then you can add your twist, bringing your left hand behind you first. So our closed twist turning towards the knee. Bring your right elbow to the outside of the knee if you want a little bit more. Pushing the knee away. Just in a little bit deeper. Bring out any tension along your back, along your spine. And then whenever you feel ready, you can turn back to center. Just coming into that opposite twist, bringing your right hand behind you, the left elbow to the inside of the knee, drawing your shoulder back all over that chest. There's some difference in these 2 different twists. And then coming all the way back to center. And giving both of your legs a bit of a shake. So now, we're just going to finish with a breathing exercise. You can do this one seated, maybe cross-legged or sitting on that blanket or cushion. Or if you prefer, you can do this one lying down. So you can come into a butterfly pose with your soles going together, knees dropping out to the side, lying on your back. Or maybe even just with your feet flat on the mat, knees pointing up. So whichever position you've chosen, take a few moments to settle into it. to start to relax and feel your shoulders relaxing down, away from your ears. Hands lightly feeling the breath moving in and out of your belly. Noticing the rise and fall of that belly. And keep your right hand over your belly, but place your left hand over your chest now. So you're also being aware of the breath moving in and out of your chest. We'll practice our 3-part breath here. So we're taking 3 separate inhales through the nose. First inhale, fill up into your belly. Second inhale, fill up into your ribs. Third inhale, fill up into your chest. And take 1 single exhale out through your nose. Exhaling, releasing completely. Inhale into your belly. Inhale into your ribs. Inhale into your chest. 1 full exhale out. Squeezing out any stale air, stale energy. Inhale into your belly. Inhale into your ribs. Inhale into your chest. A single exhale out. Inhale belly. Inhale ribs. Inhale chest. 1 full exhale. Inhale belly. Inhale ribs. Inhale chest. Single exhale out. So go ahead and just do 3 more rounds like this. Noticing how you need to slow down the breath to really fill up into these 3 chambers of the lungs, to fill up completely. And noticing the feeling when you release and you let it all go with the out breath. Each in-breath allows you to absorb more positive energy. And each out-breath allows you to let go of any stress, any tension that you've built up over the day. Now, when you have completed those 3 breaths, feel free to stay on and do a few more rounds. Otherwise, you can just bring both hands back onto your belly or onto your knees or in your lap and let go of this control of your breath, counting. Simply returning to the natural rhythm of your breath and noticing how it feels. how your lungs feel. Noticing how the rest of your body feels as you expand that awareness to the other parts of your body. Any heat, any residual tension. We'll close our practice together with just one final breath. A deep breath in through your nose. Take a big clearing sigh out through your mouth. Whichever position you're in, stay there as long as you need. Coming back and moving on with the rest of your day whenever you feel ready to do so. Namaste.